Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to share something very personal today with you. And this actually came about with a conversation which I was having with one of my friend who asked me, hey, how did I go about starting my own podcast? And when she asked me that question, it became very interesting for me. I was also in a similar position, and it was not the first time I've been in that position when I was thinking of starting my own podcast. I've completed 2 seasons of my podcast called Masters Decoded. I'll paste the link somewhere here to you to go ahead and check it out. But when I start this entire podcast, let me take a step back. It took me almost 9 months to get my first episode actually recorded. You can say I was researching a lot, but there was a lot of self-procrastination which went about. I didn't know the terms procrastination, but I used to procrastinate, and I've been reading a lot about it. And when I look back, I've done that a lot, and I continue to do that. Even starting this YouTube channel, I was procrastinating for a long time. I had a fear of camera, and I still have a fear of camera. I can tell you this much: every day when I'm coming and talking to you, not every day, but at least once a week when I come and talk to you about things which I want to share, it takes a lot of effort to do that. But over the months, I would say, not years, I've started dabbling in terms of how do I overcome these procrastination time when I'm doing that a lot, and how do I enhance that. When I say enhance that, I would say more overcome it rather than try to live in it for a long time. And there are a few things which I've been doing research and I want to share today. And I see that with many of my friends, family, and many others. When they are trying to dabble into something, they want to get something started, whether each one of you want to start a project, product, or a company, we all go through the stage. And it's not we go it once, we go it every day. And there are certain things in life which make us do that, and I would like to share that, what I have learned and what has been impacting me, and I would love to share some of those. So there are many things which I have seen for me, but the first most important piece is, at this age when I have achieved something in my life, there's always that fear of failure. People ask me, Anis, what gets you going? While it is passion, but it's also the fear of failure. Now, fear of failure actually, or fear actually defines humans. Because of fear, we do good and bad things. It's not just fear, but it's all about your emotional triggers on a day-to-day basis. And these triggers are acted upon because you have fear. And there are various types of fear. It's not just a fear of failure, but there is fear of just me today thinking about how do I look on the camera? How would you perceive me when I'm talking to you? Will I be able to keep my own benchmark when I'm talking to you? Because I do have certain preconceived benchmarks about my own self, about my own things, whether I'm speaking the right language, whether I'm communicating it to you in the right way, whether I messed up or will I mess up. My background, my surroundings are going to be good enough for you to have a conversation or to this video be appealing. And sometimes it's also the fear of just starting up. There's so much of fear which we have, and these different fear triggers have stopped me to do many things. I still have a lot of passion. I still have a lot of things which I want to go about. I still want to do that. So that's these emotional triggers which are self-inflicted, I would say. Self-induced has been the biggest reason for me personally from a world of procrastination. And what I've been doing about it to overcome, and this is something which I've started focusing on. One is, if I start procrastinating, and this is my first tip to you, specifically from an emotions, because there are a lot of emotions which get worked upon, I try to divert my mind. I'll listen to music, or I'll do something very different to take my mind away. That's the first thing. Some people also say you should journal. I'm not a big journaling guy in terms of what are the reasons, what are the triggers, how do I feel about it, why I'm procrastinating about. I'm not into journaling, sorry to say, but at least probably I want to do that. I want to see how journaling helps, and probably if you have any tips and tricks, do leave your comments in, and I'll try to get down to the journaling aspect. First thing I do is I take my mind away. Second is I just try to get it done. When I wanted to record my first video, I got it done. It's like, okay, get it done and just release it. And that kind of helped me overcome a lot of procrastination, and kind of made me feel, okay, it's not that tough to overcome procrastination. So yeah, GSD, I said, just get it done. Don't try to be too worked upon about it. And which brings to my second point, which is probably my own issue, which is specifically whether it's this YouTube channel or the podcast or my day-to-day work, is this the mindset of OCD, or this mindset of perfectionism. Today, a lot of us have this mindset that, hey, we want everything to be perfect. We want everything to be, falling in place. But over the years, I've learned about, and I'm still learning, that Murphy's law is going to act. I may try to get the best device, try to make the surrounding soundproof, but something or the other is going to happen. Do I go ahead and care about all those small details? Do I go ahead and try to overthink about it? Probably the answer is no. Now you can hear there is a background noise of a plane flying actually, and I can't overcome it. I can't change that. However, I will continue to speak to you, and hopefully you are able to hear me clearly. And this thought about just having everything perfect in our life is not a good thought. So the first thing what I started doing is to overcome my own perfectionism attitude is to start driving certain deadlines, start holding myself own accountable, ensuring that I commit to myself that there are these things, 5 or 6 things I will ensure that I will get them done before I go ahead and move on to the next stage. And I'm also not trying to make everything successful. Even if I can go ahead and do what I'm doing today and have an impact to 10 people and people who are listening here on this channel, that's a success. I've achieved what I wanted to achieve. So that's the focus. That's what I've started to do on a day-to-day basis and try to overcome my own perfectionism. The third thing, which basically has an impact on my day-to-day, which leads to a lot of procrastination, is self-sabotage. And what I mean by that is, typically when you're trying to do certain things, when you're trying to focus on certain things, I'll give you my own tip on podcast. I always think, and I've always thought that my voice, it doesn't have that enough depth. So how will it sound? And that was one of the biggest reasons it took me some time to create or not create podcasts, because I had this self-sabotaging behavior about, hey, my voice may not be that great. Or even the YouTube, because of my personal demeanor today, I'm very cautious about how I show myself. I'm a big guy, I do have some fat on my body. How will I show up? And if people leave comments or people talk about it when you start off the project, and when something like this happens, you say, yes, that's the reason why I knew it's not going to work. So this thoughts about sabotaging something which I'm before even starting up, and I've done that. I've started 2 companies, I've closed them down. When I say companies, worked with my better half to go ahead and have that and start from day one. I always thought that I may not be the best person to drive that, and I've shut it down. And right from day one, I thought I will not be able to do that. And this self-sabotaging behavior has impacted not only people around me, but even my own work. So one thing which I would recommend is, if you want to do that, just not try to focus on this thoughts about failure, but remember, each one of us have something to share to the larger world. We do bring in value, and that's why people around us love us, appreciate what we do. So it is important you always keep that on top of your mind, and just come out and share. Probably just 10 people will be happy with what you do, and they would love to hear your story. More importantly, just focus on your work, not yourself. The world is not about yourself. When you travel internationally, when you see the world, if you ever have seen the world from a plane, it's just an overwhelming feeling. You just feel that today you are the world, but actually you're not. You're just one piece, or one tiny piece of this large world around you. And that's my third tip, is when you're thinking about procrastination or how do you overcome, don't self-sabotage, and focus on your work and not yourself. The fourth area is what makes or what ensures that many people do not start off is just this point about, hey, it's gonna be too much of work. It just overwhelms all of us to do something. Like whether this YouTube channel, there is if you want to do your podcast, you want to start your own company, start your own product, we all get overwhelmed because we've heard stories, we've seen others, how good the way their setup is, how good their technology is. But today, you know what? You can just get podcasts or your YouTube or your product just started easily. For example, if you want to start a tech product company, you don't need to know coding. You can have a no-code platforms like Bubble and many others and just get them done. There are millions of million-dollar companies being set up on Bubble today with these no-code platforms, and these overwhelming thoughts really kind of deter us away. So how do you overcome, right? If you get up every day, the biggest failure and the reasons of procrastination is, for many years, a lot of productivity gurus have said you should maintain your to-do list, you should focus on to-do lists. But to-do list itself overwhelms all of us because we see this huge list and you're not able to overcome it. And basically that just overwhelms, and that just before even you start, you feel defeated and you feel overwhelmed, you are depressed because there's so much work on your plate and you are not able to get to things which you want to get to. So I would recommend the things which you can use. First, you should leverage technology. My recommendation is Notion, and I used it and I really love it. Is if you can prioritize it and prioritize 2 or 3 things which you want to do on a daily basis, and get them done. If you do that and if you just start tracking it over a period of months, weeks, years, quarters, whatever you may want to call it, you'll be surprised on how much you can get things done. And that will be my recommendation, to start, just managing your task on a day-to-day basis and just focus on 2 or 3 things on a daily basis, and you'll be happy and just surprised at how much of growth you've been able to achieve in the span of 1 year. More importantly, this is what I do. I recommend everyone that on your birthday, you gift yourself something. You'll be surprised. This was a tip that somebody gave me many years ago, and I've ensured that I do that, and I ensure that I give myself the most expensive gift I can afford. And the reason is, it's your birthday, it's your day, and more importantly, you should gift yourself to help you make feel good. You don't have to worry about what others would do for you, rather than just go ahead and gift yourself something very expensive, and you'll be surprised that just that small act of gifting yourself, because you've been able to achieve things which you wanted to do in a year, that just changes your mindset and your perspectives. And last but not the least, right, when you think about it from a to-do list, try to go slow. This is one thing which I have learned over many years, that I've tried to overtake and bring on many things in my life, and I still do that, by the way. People around me at work or my family would say I try to get many things done and not focus on things which will be helpful, or I can do it right now. And that leads to exhaustion, that leads to draining of my energy, and I'm not able to get things done. And that's the last and the most important reason which I have seen, which leads to a lot of procrastination, which is a vicious cycle. It gets back to the fears and a lot of thoughts and a lot of emotions which trigger. So hence, it's okay to not overdo things, and just focus on things which you want to take on, which are important for you, which will help you be successful or help you achieve your goals which you want to. Just prioritize things. Just it's not necessary that everything needs to get done every day. You can prioritize, and you don't need to. If you don't want to start your YouTube channel, don't do that today, if you're not ready, because there's already a lot of things on your plate, whether it's personal and professional. Get small things done every day, and then once you have enough time and enough energy to go ahead and focus on it, do that. So that will be the last point. But if you have to just sum up, I would just say, appreciate yourself, go easy on yourself, and more importantly, just get started. There are people who will tell you things which are tough, or there's too much in it. But more importantly, just don't try to over-engineer overwork, or don't try to make everything perfect. The world is not perfect. There is defects everywhere, and get on the journey which you want to. I hope this video was helpful for you. I really enjoyed, and just kind of dissecting my own mind when it comes to procrastination. If you have any thoughts and feedback, please do leave a comment, and I'll be happy to respond. Or if you want to connect, drop in an email. Please take care, be safe, and stay healthy.